father used to say that food is medicine, and that there is no better business in the world than food business, because it will last until the humanity and mankind exists. With increasing population in the world, a great deal of growth awaits you.
The farmers need to grow produce, and the suppliers need to source ingredients to manufacture quality brands. The distributors are required to do a slick job in distribution so that it reaches the consumer efficiently. That divides the business into several sectors.
We have established that there is a need for growth. The challenge is that there are many stakeholders: the producer, the brand owners, the distribution channels, and the need for everyone to work on a reasonable profit. Essentially, everyone in the supply chain has to work in cohesion with the aim of growing together.
Recently, the food business has gone through substantial change, and we have experienced this interesting evolution. For a time, it looked very rosy for the likes of Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrison and Asda. They concentrated on opening megastores of over 150,000 square feet, with SKUs of up to 90,000. Everything available under one roof. And indeed, success came their way.
To a large extent, this strategy was to eliminate the small high street shop. And indeed, significant damage was done to this sector. In the early 90s, the two German retailers, Aldi and Lidl, arrived in the UK with store sizes around 4,000 to 6,000 square feet, offering no more than 2,000 everyday use lines.
These discounters were first embraced by low-income families and senior citizens. The concept was to purchase what they needed and at the same time enjoy a no-frills shopping experience.
For growth, we need demand to rise. So let's take a look at what the future holds for us.
There are 7 billion people on this planet Earth. By 2050, there will be 9 billion people, and we shall need 70% more food.
Now that the demand is anticipated, let's see how the independent sector takes the challenge. Let us hear what some of the UK's industry leaders' views are about growth.
Growth is really improvement or betterment in some measure of success. Oftentimes it's about growing the top line, it's about growing revenue, but it really can be an improvement in any measure of success. It could be customer proliferation, it could be geographical expansion, it could be acquiring strategic capability. But what it must be is an improvement and a betterment of what is now.
No business can stand still. Either a business is moving forward and growing, or it's going to decline. Why is it important for business that it's growing? Because a growing business produces increased revenues. Increased revenues supply the funds for investment in the business, for jobs, for products, for research and innovation, and taking risks.
Growth. What is growth about? Well, for me, growth's about success. It's about being bigger. But what it is, it's also about momentum, about energy. And growth is all these positive things. The alternative, shrinkage, is negative. It creates difficulties. It creates awkwardness. Growth is a positive energy. In companies, that's very important because it brings opportunity. Opportunity for the owner or owners of a business to grow, to succeed, to have more customers, to have a bigger business. That in turn brings opportunities for the people in that business. They can look at growing and developing their careers, looking after their families better. So growth is a positive energy for good. The alternative, to stand still or to shrink, I don't think is. And in business, if you're not growing, you're losing.
I would say there are 3 main avenues to achieving growth. The first one would be staying competitive, keeping ahead of the competition, knowing what it is that gives you the edge over the competition. Is it pricing, products, understanding your customers or your consumers? Also combined with that is making profit now allows you to invest in the future. You can match future growth by investing now, and that is important too.
Business growth, like all businesses, is vital for us. The competition is out there, it's ferocious, it watches everything we do as the market leaders in our field, and what we do today they will copy tomorrow. If we leave gaps in the market, they'll fill them, and from those gaps they will launch attacks on this business that will take our market share away. Standing still is not an option. Standing still is going backwards as others steal your market share.
Why must we grow? Well, that's because businesses live in a dynamic market. Every day there are new technologies emerging, there are new customer demands, and there are new competitors emerging. And in that environment, an organisation to prosper must strive to be better. And those who fail to grow, who fail to take into consideration how they need to improve, must be prepared to fail themselves. Because the market doesn't stand still, and we need to grow in that market.
So how do you grow? Well, of course, every business has to think about where it grows, but that comes from the owner, what they want to achieve, the values, the integrity, the quality, the drive to succeed, but to do that in a way that understands their core customer. I find businesses that grow spend more time thinking about their customer than their competitor. Focusing on what matters, the customer, the product, the service, getting that right every time brings success. Being open, listening, being able to change, particularly in a world today that is so fast moving with technological advance, is another critical component to that success. And above all, building enduring relationships with the customer. And that only comes from repeat business. And repeat business comes from that quality of product, that quality of service, and that understanding of that core customer.
In the Greater Birmingham, Solihull, Lepp area, we're seeing an amazing amount of growth in our region. If you look at organisations like HSBC, they're investing in our city and region. They've come here because we've got a vibrant economy, there's potential to grow here, we've got HS2 coming, we've got a new runway that's being invested in at Birmingham Airport, and also HSBC and other big organisations see the importance of the creative economy in this region. So they look at things like Symphony Hall and the Hippodrome, the Rep, and say, well, they want to bring their staff here. And we're not just talking 1 or 2 staff, we're talking about 3,000 people coming into work in Birmingham over the next 18 months to 2 years. And they'll want to have part of the economy and be part of the economy here. They'll be buying houses here, they'll be visiting our cultural institutions. So that means there's a big amount of growth going on here.
Nothing, we used to say at Cadbury's, is too good for the consumer. You should feel the same way. Nothing is too good for your customers. And quality, improving quality, investing in quality is key to growth. And quality applies to us as individuals, to our relationships with others. And important to that is integrity. And I would say that the reputation of the business, and its reputation, which is the key asset, is built on higher and higher quality embedded in integrity.
But you can't afford to stand still. You know, if you want to grow and be part of the growing picture here, you've got to think about where you're investing, how you're investing. How we're growing our people is also very, very important, because it's fine giving people the skills and tools to do the job, but unless we can keep them here, and that's a real challenge for us in relation to student retention, unless we can keep them here, we're not going to be able to grow our people. So I think Greater Birmingham, Solihull, Lepp area, the combined authority area, is a real growth area for the whole of the UK in terms of the growth of the economy, and everybody in government is looking at seeing what we're doing here.
And take a look around you. A city is also an organisation. It too needs to develop, it too needs to grow. Birmingham, where I'm standing here right now, is in competition with Manchester, it's in competition with London. And if you look around you, the city itself is growing, because the city too is dynamic, a living, breathing organisation like any company, and it too needs to consider what its people want, what its customers want, what its business wants.
Growth means innovation. It means taking a very traditional product like this one, the sort we've made for over 100 years, and doing something different with it. In this case, we put a special bell piece onto the whistle that made it louder and more directional. We patented it, we were the first with it, so that opens up a whole new market stream for us that the competition will get to eventually, but not quite yet.
As part of growth, we've talked about you have to have this open-mindedness to what's happening. And you can see that in the way that distributors have changed the way in which consumers operate through promotional activity, through having different business models, more effective business models. And they in turn have done that because they've really understood that customer. They've spent the money in researching it and finding out what's important to them. And then they've executed that delivery of that extremely well. And so having that research capability to understand the changes in your customer, I think is important. And when working out how distributors are going to maximize on that, and then through that, seeking opportunity will be important for the supply chain.
If you don't grow, you are actually going to slip backwards and backwards because everybody else is growing. We have to grow because standstill isn't an option, and if you're going to grow, you've got to think about the markets here, the markets nationally and also internationally. So BIS is always encouraging small and medium-sized businesses and very big businesses to think about the market abroad. The competition in the world is huge. If we stand still, we will just be swallowed up. So to say why growth is a no-brainer. If you don't grow, you just die.
And I would say that the reputation of the business, and its reputation, which is the key asset, is built on higher and higher quality embedded in integrity.
For our members to grow, we've got to help our customers. Firstly, we've got to run our businesses efficiently and effectively just to ensure that we're getting goods through the system at a competitive price. But more importantly, we've got to help our customers sell more product. So we've got to give them better advice, better education, more competitive pricing, and we've got to help them run better businesses to sell more products through to consumers. By creating a great shopping experience for shoppers, we'll run better stores, they'll sell more product, they'll come back to the wholesaler then with their purchases, and that'll help the whole chain.
It is really, really important that you focus on providing better service, better quality, better products, so that your competitors don't have your business.
Our suppliers have got a crucial role to play in the chain. Our sector is all about big brands. Probably over 90% of our business is about big brands. So we need our suppliers to be reinvesting into their brands. We need the availability to be 100%, and we need consumers to want those brands through the TV, through the marketing, and through the heritage of the brand.
The reputation of this company, East End Foods, the reputation is its most important asset, and its reputation is built on quality embedded in integrity.
SME business leaders and those of very large international organizations have given their views about growth of business and the human resource needed to meet the challenge. How and why growth should be achieved has been well debated by our speakers.
We talked about two large international retailers with a concise range of everyday use products, a concept that is quite similar to that of the independent store. But of course, difference being the independent stores are selling your brands.
Martin Williams, our managing director, has stated how he is bringing the change through his membership. We ask our suppliers to work with us to make a robust strategy in order to support the independent sector. They may have been neglected somewhat in the past, but now is the right time to help them grow, as they have shown loyalty by selling your brands.
East End Foods has been taking part in bringing dynamic changes to educate our customers. Our suggestions have been simple yet effective. Keep your stores clean and tidy, display a credible range with clear pricing, and display your promotions so as to attract the attention of your customers. Such a simple initiative has worked wonders for them.
Suppliers, landmark members, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue the debate during this conference and grow together. Thank you.